Now to the answer to our trivia. We asked before the break what movie marked the directorial debut of Sir Sidney Poitier. The answer is Buck and the Preacher. He directed and starred in the movie along with Harry Belafonte. Proceeds from the film went toward the construction of the Jordan Prince William School in Cowpen Road here in New Providence. And to this bit of history, the original Paradise Island Bridge was first built in 1966 by Resorts International. According to the Central Bank of the Bahamas website, the Bridge Authority in October 1997, following a competitive bidding process, signed a $21.6 million contract with Interbeton BV, a company based in the Netherlands, to design and construct a second bridge from New Providence to Paradise Island over the Nassau Harbor, including bridge approaches and toll collection facilities. The second bridge was intended to supplement the original Eastern Paradise Island Bridge. Following its commissioning in 1967, it offered one access lane to Paradise Island and one exit lane to New Providence. The original bridge was also restored at a cost of $4.9 million. The country's labor movement is adding its weight to the pressure being placed on BTC to reinstate former executive Elizabeth Thompson to her post. Thompson was terminated from the company last month, and union officials appealed that decision. However, as Jimenita Swain tells us, BTC's unions aren't backing down and are threatening more industrial action.
Bahamas Communications and Public Managers Union President Talbot Colley says it took 2.5 hours Wednesday night for cable and wireless executives to decide Elizabeth Thompson would not be reinstated with the company. The meeting, a response to the union's application to appeal the company's decision to terminate Thompson. Colley says the union followed the law as it waited for a decision, but it's now time for action.
Another meeting. Reinstatement. That's what we're looking for.
Right? We have been quiet. We have been understanding. Now we call on Jeff Houston, bring Elizabeth Thompson back on her job. Now we, at some point we were suggesting, we were asking, we were pleading. It's been 10 days now. We ain't pleading, we ain't begging, we are demanding. We are demanding the reinstatement of Ms. Thompson because she was unfairly dismissed, and really we have a strong difficulty in working under these conditions.
He did not say what action was planned, but Colley is not alone in his call for Thompson's reinstatement. He says he has the full backing of the trade union movement in the Bahamas, and they will not allow the rights of Bahamian workers to be violated.
To try and infringe on the rights of Bahamian workers today. It's not going to happen. Not today, and not in the Bahamas. Not ever. We stand united to say, no. Houston, we have more than a problem now. This is more than a problem. And we will do what it is that we have to do to fix it. And if it means that he needs to go, then he needs to go.
The Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress is 100% behind you. What has happened to Ms. Thompson, it's wrong, and it should never, ever be allowed to happen in our Bahamas. And we ought to do whatever is necessary to have it corrected.
One of the things we now must do as a trade union movement is to cause the government to amend the Employment Act, which gives the employer the right to think that they can have separation packages when they see fit.
Pender re-echoed the call for BTC CEO Jeff Houston and the management team to have Thompson reinstated. With that, he decided to lead the union leaders and supporters up to BTC executive offices to demand a meeting with Mr. Houston to find out his position on the matter. Houston was not in the boardroom, but two other BTC employees made a quick exit after seeing union leaders. It did not take long for company security and police officers to flank Houston's door, preventing access.
Line got to go. Line got to go. Line got to go. Line got to go.
Union leaders say they're prepared to take whatever action is needed to have this matter resolved, as it's no longer just a BTC issue, but a threat to the trade union movement. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
In other labor-related news, President of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Nicole Martin, says she's not too happy with the government's lax position on the latest round of redundancies proposed for the Wyndham Nassau Hotel. Martin says hotel officials have told the union that in addition to the temporary closure, it intended to permanently close at least 4 food outlets.
We have an industrial agreement that says if you are going to close an outlet, there is a 6-week notice period. There's no provision in our industrial agreement for the payment in lieu of that kind of notice, because that notice is intended to, if there is the possibility of redeploying workers, if there's the possibility of anything, that period is designed to talk and to come to some resolution.
Martin says she expected labor officials to order some mediation and not accept the redundancies.
And for me, it is damaging to hear a government say in the presence of an employer that redundancies happen all the time. It is a fact of life in the Bahamas. That, you know what, today it is 96 workers in the food and beverage area. Tomorrow we could decide to make an additional 100 because the minister has said that it's a fact of life. Yes, it is. But when we talk about a company that has a heads of agreement that has been given and I guess will continue to get concessions from the government has to be concerned, as we thought, and they said it, that they are concerned with the reduction in unemployment levels.
Union leaders met with members at Workers' House this morning to advise them of the latest developments between the hotel government and the union. The bilateral talks between Bahamian and Dominican Republic ministers concluded yesterday. Meetings between President Danilo Medina and Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister Fred Mitchell focused on mutual friendship in the fight against drug smuggling and poaching and continued diplomatic friendship between the two countries. The meeting also resulted in private talks with Dominican Republic Minister of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Admiral Sigfrido Perez, and the nation's drug czar, Dr. Marino Vincio Catior. There they discussed the possible linkage between fish poaching and drug dealing and high-level strategies to combat both issues. The Bahamian delegation left the Dominican Republic today and will report their findings to the cabinet. Court matters on the docket for Senior Supreme Court Justice John Isaacs will have to wait until next Friday to be heard. Senior Justice Isaacs will be out of office beginning on Friday, November 2nd. However, Justice Isaacs will be back on the bench next Friday, November 9th, at which time all pending matters will be heard. No reason has been given for the rescheduling of the court cases. Well, it's time now for a check of weather. We check in with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Hello, Basil.
Hi, Keisha. Right now we have a high pressure system over the Bahamas. It's providing some nice weather, but there's a front boundary across Florida. It's heading towards the south. Will it get here? We'll stay tuned. We'll tell you all about it later in the newscast.
Well, we'll take a little trip to Exuma when the Bahamas Tonight continues. Stay with us.